I'm the Rules Girl, and this is Critical Care, a cooperative hospital-themed game for 1 to 4 players. In Critical Care, players work together to provide care for patients and solve their different ailments. The goal of the game is to win. Players win by stabilizing all the patients and removing all injuries from the ward, or by sending them to hospice. All players lose if even one patient dies. The game takes place over 7 rounds, each round with 4 phases. The rounding phase, where all injuries and crises progress. The complications phase, where new complications are drawn and resolved for each patient. The therapy phase, where players use therapy cards to treat the patients. And the consulting phase, where players recruit and engage specialists to care for the patients. During the rounding phase, place the crisis token on the next day of the week and check the diagnosis for additional effects associated with the day. Next, add or remove injury or crisis tokens for each rounding icon on the diagnosis, complications, and therapy cards. If an injury die is added, roll it to decide the type of token added. In the complications phase, players draw a complication card for each crisis and social determinant token on their chart. The complication card only affects the patient if they match all of the requirements listed next to the condition. If not, discard the card. An injury blocked by a social determinant token does not fulfill an injury condition. If the patient does meet the condition icons, apply the instant effects immediately. If there are no rounding markers on the card, discard after applying the immediate effects. If it has rounding icons, place it to the left of the chart. Before the therapy phase, each player must look at their therapy cards. For every card that has a beep beep on it, each player draws 1 pager alert card. Each of these will be resolved before the player's turn during the therapy phase. In the therapy phase, players take turns playing up to 12 hours of therapy cards. Each card has a time in the corner. Once the cards you play add to 12, you cannot play anymore. Once a card is played, apply the immediate effect. If the card has this symbol, the player earns experience. If the card has any rounding symbols, place it to the right of the chart. Once the player is done with their turn, they may choose up to 3 therapy cards to save and place them in the nursing station. The rest of the cards are discarded. Then draw 6 new therapy cards. This symbol represents the patient's goal of care. Therapy cards can push this token forward on the patient chart, 1 space for every one of these symbols on the patient's chart. If this goal of care token reaches the end, the patient is sent home to hospice. During the consulting phase, players may pool resources to activate specialist effects or call in a new specialist. The requirements are listed on the specialist card. Once per game, a player can use their doctor's badge to tuck up to 2 on-call specialists under their badge and replace them from the deck. You win the game as a group if all the patients are either stabilized, which means they have no injury or crisis tokens on their chart, or if they have been sent home on hospice. Ready to play? Each player begins with a patient chart, a doctor's badge, a goals of care token, a social determinants token, an injury die, and a reference card. Place the goals of care token on the start position on the patient chart. Search the special deck for the critical care nurse and place it on the nursing station slot marked with this symbol. Draw 5 more specialists and place them face up above the nursing station. Place the kidney basin token storage between all players. Shuffle the complication, therapy, and pager alert decks and place them between the players. Shuffle the code blue deck and place it to the side. Give each player 1 patient card and diagnosis. Next, deal 1 complication card to each patient. Finally, each player draws 6 therapy cards. You're now ready to play. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking it and subscribing to The Rules Girl for more rules videos.